Hello, I'm Dr. Leo Vitas. Most people think probiotics are just something you take when digestion goes wrong, but science tells us a very different story. Your gut is not just about digestion. It's a control center for immunity, inflammation, mood, and long-term health. Today, we're going to explore the Probiotics Protocol, how gut bacteria influence your body, and how to use probiotics correctly based on science, not trends. What is the gut microbiome? The gut microbiome is the ecosystem of microorganisms living inside your digestive tract. Large scientific projects that mapped the human microbiome showed something shocking. Inside, you live trillions of microbes, forming a living community that behaves like an organ. Not a metaphor, an organ, because it has real functions that affect your survival. These organisms help break down foods you cannot digest on your own, especially certain fibers. They produce useful compounds, they help create vitamins, and they train your immune system like a military academy trains soldiers. And here's the key point. This ecosystem is unique, like a fingerprint. Two people can eat the same meal, but their gut microbes can respond differently, and that can influence energy, digestion, inflammation, and even cravings. That's why scientists sometimes call it a second genome, because it changes how your body behaves every day. Why probiotics matter? When your microbiome is balanced, the body tends to run smoothly. Digestion is more comfortable, inflammation is lower. The immune system reacts with better control, not too aggressive, not too weak. Now, research published in major scientific journals shows that reduced diversity of gut bacteria is associated with many modern problems: weight gain, blood sugar issues, chronic inflammation, and even mood disturbances. That doesn't mean bacteria are the only cause, but they are clearly part of the mechanism. Think of it this way. Your gut is like a garden. If the garden has many species, it stays stable. If the garden loses diversity, weeds take over. Probiotics matter because they can help push the ecosystem back toward balance, especially after common life events that damage the gut, like antibiotic use, stress, poor sleep, and highly processed diets. But probiotics only work when used intelligently, and that's exactly what this protocol is about. Probiotics and digestive health. Digestive health is where most people notice probiotics first. Studies involving different strains of beneficial bacteria show improvements in bloating, gas, irregular bowel movements, and general digestive discomfort. And one important reason is this. Probiotics can help improve the gut barrier, the lining that separates what's inside your intestines from what enters your bloodstream. If that lining is irritated or weak, you may feel it as food sensitivity, inflammation, discomfort after meals, or a general sense that your gut is reactive. Probiotics can also help with digestion indirectly by supporting the breakdown of certain food components and by helping maintain a healthier microbial balance, meaning fewer gas-producing microbes and fewer inflammatory byproducts. And here's something people forget. Digestion is not just about what you eat, it's about what your gut can process. Two people can eat the same meal. One feels fine, the other feels destroyed. The difference can be the microbiome, probiotics, and the immune system. About 70% of your immune system lives in or around the gut. This is not a wellness quote. It's basic immunology. Your gut lining is a security system. It decides what enters your body, nutrients, water, and signals, and it tries to block what should not pass, toxins, pathogens, and inflammatory triggers. Healthy gut bacteria help strengthen that barrier. They also educate immune cells to react properly, meaning your body can defend itself without constantly overreacting. Scientific studies show that certain probiotic strains can reduce the duration of some infections, support immune balance, and even reduce the intensity of certain allergic-type responses. So, if your immune system feels unstable, frequent colds, chronic inflammation, constant sensitivity, the gut is one of the first places we look. Because the goal is not just to boost immunity. The goal is to regulate it. Smart immunity, not loud immunity. The gut-brain connection. Your gut and brain communicate constantly through nerves, hormones, and chemical messengers. This is known as the gut-brain axis. One of the most fascinating findings in modern biology is that a large amount of serotonin, a neurotransmitter linked to mood and emotional balance, is produced in the gut, not in the brain. This helps explain why digestive problems and mood problems often travel together. Anxiety with stomach discomfort, low mood with poor digestion, stress with gut flare-ups. Research in the field of psychobiotics, probiotics that influence mental states, shows that specific strains can reduce stress responses, improve mood, and support mental clarity in certain people. Now, this isn't magic, it's biology. Your gut microbes can influence inflammation, immune signaling, and even the chemical messages that reach the brain. So if someone is trying to improve mood, energy, and focus, gut health is not optional. It's foundational. Probiotics, inflammation, and aging. Chronic low-level inflammation is one of the biggest accelerators of aging. Many scientists call it inflammation-driven aging. It affects the arteries, the brain, metabolism, hormones, everything. A disrupted microbiome can fuel this inflammation by weakening the gut barrier and increasing the load of inflammatory compounds that enter circulation. When the immune system is constantly irritated, it's like driving a car with the engine always in the red zone. You can do it for a while, but it wears the system down. Studies show that improving gut microbiome balance can influence inflammatory markers in the body, and probiotics, when chosen correctly, can be part of that strategy. So probiotics are not just about digestion. They're about creating a quieter internal environment, less immune chaos, less inflammatory noise, and that supports long-term health and healthy aging. What damages the microbiome? Now, why do so many people need this protocol? Because modern life destroys the microbiome. Antibiotics are one of the biggest disruptors. They don't only target harmful bacteria, they also reduce beneficial bacteria. Research shows that the microbiome can shift significantly after antibiotic use, and recovery can take months, sometimes longer. But it's not just antibiotics. Ultra-processed foods reduce microbial diversity. High sugar patterns feed less helpful microbes. Alcohol can irritate the gut lining. Chronic stress changes gut movement and immune signaling. Poor sleep shifts hormones that influence gut bacteria. So when someone says, "I eat healthy but I still feel off," the missing piece is often the gut ecosystem. The microbiome is not fragile, it's resilient, but it needs the right conditions to rebuild. That's why we use a protocol, not random supplements. Feeding bacteria versus adding bacteria. Here's one of the biggest misunderstandings in probiotics. People focus on adding bacteria, but forget that bacteria need food. Probiotics introduce beneficial organisms, but to survive and integrate, they need the right environment and the right fuel. That fuel is usually fiber, especially certain types of plant fibers that humans can't digest, but gut microbes can. When microbes ferment these fibers, they produce compounds that support the gut lining, help regulate inflammation, and support metabolism. This is why someone can take probiotics and feel no difference, because the bacteria arrived, but the environment was hostile. So think of it like this: probiotics are like seeds, but seeds won't grow in dry soil. You need the soil, the diet, the routine, the fiber, to make the change real. This is why the protocol always combines probiotics with nourishment for the microbiome. Fermented foods versus supplements. Fermented foods are powerful. Yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut. These foods can introduce beneficial microbes and supportive compounds. Many cultures have used them for centuries, and modern science supports their value. But fermented foods have a limitation: consistency. The types and amounts of bacteria can vary dramatically based on preparation, storage, temperature, and time. So if someone needs a targeted, repeatable effect, fermented foods can help, but they're not always precise. That's where supplements can be useful. A well-designed probiotic supplement gives controlled strains and a consistent dose. This is especially helpful after antibiotics, during high stress, or when someone is rebuilding gut balance. The best strategy is often a combination: fermented foods as a lifestyle foundation, plus supplements used strategically, not forever, but intelligently. How to choose a probiotic. Choosing a probiotic is where most people get trapped by marketing. You'll see huge numbers on labels, dramatic claims, and vague wording. But what matters scientifically is very different. First, the probiotic should clearly identify the exact strains, not just the general type. Because different strains can have different effects, even within the same family. Second, the bacteria need to survive the journey through stomach acid and reach the gut alive. Some formulas use protective methods to help this. Third, credibility. The best probiotics are backed by human studies, real clinical research, not just traditional use. And here's the truth: there is no single probiotic that's best for everyone. The best choice depends on the goal: digestion, immune balance, gut recovery after antibiotics, stress support. So we choose probiotics like tools. Specific tool for a specific job. Common probiotic mistakes. Let's talk about why probiotics fail, because many people swear they didn't work. Mistake 1. Random selection. Buying whatever is trending without a goal. Mistake 2. Stopping too early. Your microbiome doesn't change in 3 days. Ecosystems need time. Mistake 3. Not supporting the bacteria with the right diet, especially enough fiber and plant variety. Mistake 4. Treating probiotics like a cure-all while keeping a gut-damaging lifestyle. If stress is extreme, sleep is poor, and food is highly processed, probiotics are fighting an uphill battle. And one more: storage and heat. Some probiotics are sensitive to temperature. If they're constantly heated, they can lose effectiveness. So probiotics are not magic pills. They are biological tools, and tools work when you use them with method. The Probiotics Protocol. Now let me give you the Probiotics Protocol: simple, structured, and science-based. Step 1. Reduce irritants and reset the gut. That means lowering ultra-processed foods, reducing excessive alcohol, and focusing on simple meals your gut tolerates well. The goal is to calm irritation and stabilize digestion. Step 2. Nourish beneficial bacteria. This is where fiber becomes essential. Vegetables, legumes if tolerated, oats, seeds, and other fiber-rich foods. You're feeding the ecosystem so beneficial microbes can grow and produce helpful compounds. Step 3. Reinforce with a carefully selected probiotic supplement, not random. A probiotic chosen based on your goal: digestion, immune balance, or recovery after antibiotics. And this is where many people feel a breakthrough. When probiotics are paired with a supportive diet, consistency, and a calm routine, the gut often starts responding in a measurable way. Better digestion, more stable energy, better immune resilience. This protocol also pairs well with intermittent fasting because fasting can reduce gut overload and support metabolic balance. But the foundation is always diet quality and microbial support. Who should be cautious? Probiotics are safe for most people, but not everyone should self-experiment. If someone has a weakened immune system or complex digestive problems that involve severe bloating, strong reactions to many foods, or unexplained symptoms, it's smart to speak with a qualified healthcare professional before using supplements. Also, if someone feels worse immediately after taking probiotics, not a mild adjustment, but noticeably worse, that's a signal to stop and reassess. Gut health is highly individual. What works brilliantly for one person may not be the right fit for another. So the correct approach is not blind supplementation. It's guided experimentation. Start simple, observe, adjust, And prioritize safety. That's real science-based biohacking, not hype. Your health is not just human, it's microbial. When you take care of your gut, you support your immune system, your brain, and how your body ages. If this video helped you, subscribe to XENOVITAS, leave a like, and tell me in the comments, have you ever taken probiotics? I'm Dr. Leo Vitas. See you in the next video.